If you're anything like me, whose ultimate escape from this innately stressful world is by reading a novel that's gonna make me forget about all my life problems, like I have nothing better to do rather than just sit at my couch and read a book all day, then welcome, you have entered the right space. Life can get pretty tough sometimes, and sometimes we all just need a book that's gonna give us a break and make us smile and forget about our worries. So if you're someone who's interested, please keep on watching. So the first book recommendation I have for you guys, and honestly this book is actually my favorite too, is Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. So Fourth Wing essentially is a fantasy romance, and we follow two main characters, Zayden and Violet. This book literally took the internet by storm 2 years ago, and if you're someone who is following BookTok or Instagram, you probably have heard about this, and the hype over this book is not unwarranted. I'll tell you that right now. This book has the tropes that we all love: enemies to lovers, found family, you name it, this book has it. I swear to you, when you read this book, you will not be bored. I was reading this, let me tell you, the amount of tension the main characters had is definitely like, it's chef's kiss. Like, if you want something fun, romantic, and if you're moreover just a fantasy reader who enjoyed Hunger Games, Divergent, this book is definitely for you. I feel with all fantasy books, you kind of have to get into the storyline, but once you get into this book, there's no going back. If you're someone who's not even read fantasy before and wants to read fantasy, this book can definitely be your first book into fantasy, even though, although I will say it's a little harder to get into because it has a few elements that will take time to understand. Even for me, who has read quite a few fantasy books before, it was quite hard to understand. So once you get like 100 pages into it, I think you will definitely enjoy it. So just give it a try. So the next book that I have for you guys is The Beauty of the Moment by Tanaz Bathina. So this book was one of the first book I ever read, which was by an Indian author, and she did not disappoint. This book is essentially about two teenagers who are in high school, who have Indian parents but they've grown up abroad. Susan's family has recently moved to Canada, and she's figuring out this new high school, her friends, and her entire life basically. And she runs into Malcolm, this cute Indian guy. First time I read this book, I put it down, but the second time I picked it up, I honestly fell in love with it. The reason I think the first time I didn't enjoy it as much as the second is because I was going through a reading slump. So I think that's just on me. I think my brain wasn't able to comprehend any more books at that time because I was in a slump. One of the main reasons I really liked this book was because the amount I was able to relate to it. As someone who reads books which are majority written by authors abroad, this book actually feels like home, in a sense that the way she talks about her parents, the way she talks about the society. So the next book is for someone who's a sucker for rom-coms like me, and it's Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. This book obviously needs no introduction. I feel everyone has, if you're someone who's even remotely on BookTok or BookTube or anything like that, you've probably heard of this book. So if you love movies that make you feel all the feels, this book is exactly that. This book is a rom-com through and through. Like, it truly lives up to its title, Better Than the Movies, because honestly, I don't think I've ever read or seen a rom-com better than this. Like, this book will definitely put a smile on your face, and if you're having a tough day, I swear to you, if you come and pick this up, you will not regret your decision. You will truly enjoy every minute you read of it, from the start to the end. I have a cousin who also read this book, and it actually made her cry from happy tears. That's the first time I've heard anyone say that they cried from a book with happy tears. If that can't convince you to read this book, I don't know what can. This book also has cute references from really famous rom-coms, so I would suggest you can even watch those after you're done reading with this, because all the references are super cute. Coming to the pace of the book is definitely very well paced. Lynn Painter has written all the dialogue super well, so I don't think you'll ever feel the book's too lengthy or the book's too short. Lynn Painter has written each dialogue in such a way that it will truly make you feel like, yeah, this is why this book is so good. Like, this is why we love rom-coms, and it's everything that a romance book should be. If you're someone who's fan of emotional roller coaster and heartwarming stories, this book is definitely for you. Everything by Nicola Yoon will left you feeling that you want more from this. This book was, I think, one of the first romances that I ever read. I would not regret reading this at all. I think I was 14 when I read it, and I was literally kicking my feet while I was reading this. So this book follows the main lead, Maddie, who was born with this disease called the baby bubble disease, which forbids her from leaving a house. In her entire life, she's been sheltered to her home, and she hasn't ever experienced what it's like traveling or living out in the world. She spent her entire life with just her mom and her nurse, and with a very monotonous routine and schedule, with nothing much going on. But everything in her life changes when a new neighbor moves next to her called Ollie. I feel Ollie is the type of character that could be slightly annoying if he was written the wrong way, but Nicola Yoon just completely nailed his character. She's made him funny, witty, intelligent, and moreover charismatic. I feel Ollie is the type of character who every girl falls in love with no matter what. Maddie and Ollie start becoming friends, and just like any other young adult book, they start falling for each other. While Maddie, she's confined to a house because of her disease, Ollie also has his own set of problems, and they both are just trying to navigate through life and figure things out as they go. One of the things that I truly loved about this book was how it tackles the idea of safe living versus really living. So Madeline over here, even though she has all the luxuries in her own house and she's never had the need to step out because of her condition, it truly makes her wonder how much more there is to experience and to see all the new things that life has to offer. And I think it's a reminder for us as well to be grateful, because we have been blessed with so much and so much love to give and so much love to receive and to experience such things. Even with Ollie, as a person who's probably dealt with a lot in his life, he chooses every day to be the life of the party and live life to the fullest, and that's just a motto I think I'm gonna be carrying out ahead. So the next recommendation I have for you guys is actually a murder mystery, and one of the main reasons I've only included one murder mystery is because I feel murder mysteries, even though they're super fun and enjoyable to read, they also have pretty dark themes. And I feel at the end of the day, when I'm trying to read something lighthearted and fun, murder mystery is not my first choice, and that's the only reason there's only one murder mystery in this book. So the book I have for you guys is One of Us is Lying by Karen McNamas. Story takes place at a high school called Bayview High. Well, 5 people are in detention and one of the students ends up dying, and the rest of them are trying to figure out who murdered him. So the guy who ends up dying, his name is called Simon, and as the story goes on, you get POVs from all the characters and you learn more about their motives, you learn more about their history, you learn more about their lives and their potential reasons why they could have killed Simon. It deals with plot twists, turns, and how over several months all these teenagers are treated like murderers and with hostility at their high school, and how people have been blaming them for Simon's death without any solid proof. 4 characters in this book are potentially hiding secrets, and when Simon dies, all their secrets are revealed with him, and all of a sudden the things are looking very bad for each and every character. Karen McNamas' writing is super easy to understand, super easy to get into a flow of. I think once you start reading this, since there's so many POVs from all the characters, it feels like the book is moving really fast, and I kind of do like the fact that it has different POVs, because in a murder mystery it's very crucial to know what every character is thinking and what they're about to do, or like how they're feeling at certain times. I feel the author has done a great job of keeping the readers guessing. Like, I swear to you, I was not able to figure out who would have killed Simon at all. Like, I guessed the killer wrong 5 times and I was constantly on the edge of my seat thinking, like, what is happening? Who killed him? Why have I not been able to figure out who actually killed Simon? You will not be able to guess who killed Simon. The story will just give you small little details as you go on, so it doesn't feel like you're having to deal with a lot of information. I honestly couldn't get enough of this book. Like, this book is generally a proper young adult mystery. This book is honestly a 4.5 out of 5-star read, because all the characters and the stories will just keep you guessing throughout, and even at the end I was so shocked by what had actually happened, and it made me want to actually reread the whole book to see the elements that I had probably missed. So yeah, I would definitely actually even read it for a second time to know like what actually happened. So the final book I have for this video is Before the Coffee Gets Cold by Toshikazu Kawaguchi. If you're looking for a book that's gonna warm your heart like a warm cup of coffee, this book is definitely it. This book honestly is one of the most heartwarming books I've ever read, and I read this on a plane ride while I was coming from Hyderabad. And on the plane I could literally like, I could feel the warmness and fuzziness like folding over me just by reading this book. So Before the Coffee Gets Cold is set up in this cute little cafe in Tokyo that has the magical ability to let you travel in time. Even though the cafe can help you travel back in time, there are certain catches as to when, why, and how many times you can travel. The book follows four main characters who are willing to seek closure, forgiveness, and to undo the regrets that they have in their personal lives, and how they just come together to resolve each other's issues. The biggest lesson that I learned from this book was like to tell people who are around you how important they are and how much they mean to you. At the end of the day, certain people are always going to mean a lot to us, and I think it's better to use the opportunity to tell them that you love them every single day than to be left with the regrets when they're not around or you don't have the opportunity to meet them. I feel the author should just start a cafe with the entire aesthetic of this book, because I think that would be such a cool idea, and I think everyone who reads this book would want to go into that cafe. Even though time travel is the theme of the story, it's truly about human connection, emotion, and the feelings that humans have when they regret things and how we express ourselves. I feel this book has definitely made me question my own life and to think that, oh, could I have done things differently with certain friends? Could I have done things differently with certain people in my own life? But we can't really go back in time, and I feel this book will really tell you to live life in such a way that you have no regrets, and even though you make rash decisions, there is always light at the end of the tunnel. And the writing of this book is pretty quiet and delicate. It's not a book that you would want to rush through or finish it in one go. It's a book that you want to savor and cherish and sit with yourself on with a coffee, like quite literally. Like this book is truly meant for you to sit on your couch with a cup of coffee and to savor and cherish every single moment. So that is it for today's video, guys. Oh my god, filming this was so much fun. And if you guys are wondering, I kind of changed the angle because it was getting darker. I am a first time YouTuber as well, guys, so please go a little easy on me. I'm not used to speaking to a camera as well, but I do try my best. And this video alone has taken me 2 hours to film, even though it might not look like that. And that's it for today's video, guys. I really hope you guys can try some of the books that I've recommended, and if you've already read them, please let me know how you felt about them. I would love to know your personal opinions as well. I honestly picked out the books that I truly like reading, and most of them were young adults. So if you want me to do a video on other genres like thrillers, literary fictions, horror, or anything like that, please do let me know, because I do read a wide variety of books which are not just romance and young adult, but those are the books that I do enjoy the most. And I'm gonna see you guys next week in my new video. Till then, take care, bye.